Are you Matthew Aldridge?
I'm the attorney of fact for Matthew Aldridge.
You were what?
The attorney of fact.
Attorney what?
Of fact.
Attorney of fact. And what does that mean?
You know, his authorization to do legal representation.
Are you a licensed attorney?
No, I'm simply an attorney of fact.
Okay. And does that mean you have a power of attorney? What is your name? What is your name?
All right, guys, today's court hearing is seriously crazy. There's a man who's supposed to be Matthew Aldridge. At least that's the name on the legal documents. But the guy standing at the podium is saying something totally different. Is claiming he doesn't have a name and is calling himself the attorney of fact, which, just so you know, isn't even a real legal term. This is one of those typical sovereign citizen moments where someone tries to argue that the court doesn't have any power over them. They always think they've found some secret loophole in the system, but that's just not how it works. Courts have authority over anyone who's within their area. It's plain and simple. The judge clearly isn't falling for any of this nonsense, even for a second. In fact, he completely shuts the guy down and does it in the most brilliant way possible. By the end, the judge totally outsmarts him, and it's honestly satisfying to watch. Let's get into the details.
My name?
Yes, sir.
I don't have.
You don't have a name? Pardon?
I'm the attorney of fact for the respondent in the area.
Well, let me explain. And to do so otherwise violates the criminal law statutes of the state of Tennessee and could land someone who attempts to represent themselves as an attorney at law in serious trouble. I understand what you're saying. I understand you're saying an attorney in fact. And what I want you to understand is that if you have a power of attorney, then you need to demonstrate that power of attorney. Do you have a legal document called a power of attorney?
No, I do not this time.
Okay. Then you don't have any authority to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge in this court. You have no legal authority, nor do you have any authority through a legal document to represent or to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge.
Why don't the court just let me file this document?
Show it to the bailiff and he'll show it to me. Oh, apparently there's a copy here.
So here's the thing, the guy's standing in court saying he's an attorney of fact. To prove it, he hands the judge a piece of paper. Now, I know you didn't get to see that part because it was a bit slow, but the paper basically quoted some fake law that says he has the right to speak for Matthew Aldridge. But let's be real. Real attorneys have to go through law school, get licensed by the state, and follow real legal rules and procedures. You can't just print out some paper at home and pretend you're a lawyer. It's not how any of this works. People like this, these sovereign citizens, always try to argue that the court has no power over them. They think that if they say the right words or use the right papers, they can somehow avoid the law. But that's just fantasy. The legal system is based on real, established laws, not stuff people make up on the internet. And the judge in this case, he's having none of it. He's not wasting time on made-up arguments. He sticks to real law and shuts this guy down hard. Honestly, it feels like these sovereign citizen cases are popping up more and more. Or maybe I'm just unlucky and keep running into them. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.
All right. Well, I find that Matthew Neal Aldridge has failed to appear personally in this court for the plea day on his case, which is set for trial tomorrow. And as a result, you have no standing, sir, under what I know what you're trying to do is to try to use the sovereign citizen approach to this situation. And I'm simply telling you that you do not have the right to represent Matthew Neal Aldridge. If you are, in fact, Matthew Neal Aldridge, then you challenge the criminal law or the jurisdiction of this court by simply filing some legal mumbo jumbo having to do with civil litigation. That has civil litigation in it. It is not a criminal case that you have cited. So it has no effect on this court regarding the criminal statutes of this court. This court is empowered under the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the state of Tennessee and by the duly elected citizens of Cheatham County to empower and enforce the laws of the state of Tennessee. And that is what I'm going to do regarding Matthew Lynn Aldridge. Mr. Aldridge is set for today to appear in court personally on what we call our last plea day before his trial date tomorrow.
Is that an Article 3 trial?
To what?
Will that be an Article 3 trial? A trial by jury with jury?
It would be a trial by jury, certainly it would be. But I don't know who you are. And I don't think you have any authority if you are not Matthew Lynn Aldridge to appear before this court. And you're wasting valuable time to all of these other citizens who are here today. So when I'm talking, I'm just simply instructing you that if you are in fact Matthew Lynn Aldridge, then this is your last day to settle your case. The trial date is set for tomorrow, and unfortunately it will not go forward because of the fact that I have a conflict and I have to be in Stewart County on a civil matter. So we're going to assign a new trial date for Matthew Lynn Aldridge. All right, to Matthew Aldridge and the individual standing before me whose name must not be uttered.
The judge in this case is handling this guy like a total pro. Even though the man is acting completely out of line, the judge stays calm and shuts him down every step of the way. The moment the guy started with his attorney effect nonsense, the judge didn't let it go anywhere. He just broke down the argument piece by piece without losing his cool. It almost felt like the judge had dealt with this kind of thing before, like he was already familiar with these sovereign citizen tricks. Especially when the guy started quoting fake laws, you could tell the judge had had enough. One of the funniest moments was when the judge said the man wasn't even allowed to speak. The name he was pretending not to have it was a rare bit of humor you don't usually see from judges, who are normally pretty serious and straight-faced. From the beginning, it was obvious the judge wasn't going to waste his time on this nonsense. He wasn't about to let the courtroom turn into a circus. And honestly, by the end of it, this whole thing just proves how silly and useless these stunts are. They never work hard. They only make the person look worse.
Then we will set a July 15th trial date for Mr. Aldridge. Whatever this document is that you have filed is in fact invalid because it does not cite any valid criminal statute, and therefore I'm denying whatever that might. Aldridge to enter a plea or go to trial will be July the 8th. July the 8th. Now, we're going to give you a card. If you are in fact Matthew Aldridge and you're just playing games with the court regarding this nonsense that you filed, then you may get this card and you may go on about your business. If you are not Matthew Aldridge, then I would suggest to you, you relay to Mr. Aldridge that he must appear on July the 8th, or a bond revocation will take place, and his case will be set, will take place with him in jail, incarcerated on the 15th. That's the judgment of the court. You need to take your piece of paper and go on about your business.
Sovereign citizens really are something else. These are people who believe they can somehow opt out of the legal system just by saying they don't recognize the government's authority. They talk a lot about things like common law or the UCC Uniform Commercial Code, but they completely misunderstand what those actually mean. Just to be clear, courts in the U.S. work under federal, state, and local laws. These laws have been around for a very long time and are backed by the Constitution. There's no secret loophole where someone can just decide the rules don't apply to them. But these sovereign citizens still show up in court. It's wasting everyone's time with bizarre arguments that go absolutely nowhere. In the end, all they get is a criminal record. Legally, their whole defense falls apart because of one basic thing: jurisdiction. Courts have authority over anyone in their area, no matter what kind of legal nonsense you try to argue. These claims might sound clever in online echo chambers, but judges have heard it all before, and they're not buying it for a second. And just so you know, trying to dodge taxes or get out of a speeding ticket using these fake legal tricks doesn't just fail, it can actually make things worse. Courts don't like having their time wasted. They can hit you with even harsher penalties for pulling stunts like this. Honestly, I don't get why these people keep doing it. Do they really think they're beating the system? Or is it just some weird kind of rebellion? Either way, it's pointless and honestly kind of sad. they're not challenging the system in any real way. They're just embarrassing themselves. Anyway, it's going to wrap it up for now. Wrap up my breakdown for today. If you guys enjoy, don't forget to like and subscribe and let me know what you guys think about. Sovereign citizens in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching and take care.